Now, for someone who's made billions from the cryptocurrency market, you would imagine that Sam Bankman-Fried is a crypto maximalist, holding a bag of various cryptocurrencies all the way to the moon. But no, that is not the case at all. It turns out that Sam is not actually interested in the bag of cryptocurrencies, more just the bag itself. In recent times, he tweeted he'll be trying to rescue some struggling cryptocurrencies and companies and offering a helping hand to people who have lost literally everything. But this got me thinking and led me down a bit of a rabbit hole. Is Sam Bankman-Fried really the Robin Hood he seems to be, or is he actually the Sheriff of Nottingham, doing the inverse, stealing from the poor and giving to the rich? The first big red flag when I started looking at this was that Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who owns FTX, one of the most well-known crypto brokers, isn't actually a believer in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency itself. So who the hell is this fella? How has he made billions from cryptocurrency, and is he really going to give all his money away to charity? What I have found might actually shock you. Many know him as SBF, which obviously stands for Sam Bankman-Fried. He's a hotshot for cryptocurrency fanboys worldwide and is constantly on every financial channel you can think of. Over the past few years, SBF has built his cryptocurrency platform, FTX, into a massive powerhouse. In February 2022, he recorded to have an average daily trading volume of over $10 billion and has over 1 million users on the platform itself. But having a million users on your platform and 10 billion of trading volume, really, does it justify a net worth of 20 billion that Sam was recorded to have? How did he really get this net worth? And moreover, will he really give all this money to charity as he's pushing his affiliates here on YouTube to spout off? If you're like me and rarely trust strangers on the internet, one has to ask, is this guy really Mr. Nice Guy Crypto, or does he actually have a sinister agenda? And like most self-made billionaires, SBF's origin story is quite different. Born in 1992 on the campus of Stanford University in North Carolina, Sam is the son of two Stanford law professionals, Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried. As the son of two uni professors, of course, Sam was pushed into academical life. Sam attended the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 2010 to 2014, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in physics. He also has a minor in mathematics. Clearly, SBF is a very, very clever guy. But this brings up the first red flag, surely. How did a guy who has a master's in physics and a minor in mathematics end up becoming a multi-billionaire owning a crypto platform? I mean, it's not like he studied finance. And I know that statement, studying finance, is going to trigger a crypto bro in the comments, so go and search for it. Sam started his career as a summer intern in Jane Street Capital in 2013. He then returned to graduate from MIT the following year as a full-time employee. Jane Street Capital is a prop firm with over 1,700 employees, so it's a decent-sized company. After working for JSE for about 3 years, Sam resigned, and in 2017, he moved to Berkeley. He then worked as Director of Development at the Center of Effective Altruism, and I can never say that word, so apologies in this video. SBF then moved again and decided to start his own company, Alameda Research. He claims that he spotted a money-making opportunity he simply couldn't pass. SBF took part in something called arbitrage trading. The definition of an arbitrage is simply taking advantage of the difference in prices in two or more markets, striking a combination of matching deals to capitalize on the difference. Or in simpler terms, he would buy Bitcoin in the US at a cheaper price and then instantly sell it in Japan at a much higher price because the prices were different. And that little difference between the prices is basically free profit. In late 2018, Sam Bankman-Fried attended a cryptocurrency conference in Baku called the Sora Summit of 2018. After this conference being inspired by the concurrent fork of Bitcoin Cash, SBF decided to move to Hong Kong, which had nothing to do with the tax difference between the US and Hong Kong, which is just coincidentally, it's 16.5% in Hong Kong versus 21% in the US. Nope. Nothing to do with that. The following year, after moving to Hong Kong, he founded FTX. As of January 2020, FTX was valued at $40 billion and is one of the leading companies when it comes to selling crypto derivatives. Even though Sam Bankman-Fried has acquired, invested, and even helped out numerous cryptocurrencies and companies, he has still stated he does not fully believe in cryptocurrency. According to him, when he started the company, he didn't even know what blockchain meant. And this might not be a big deal in many other industries, but in the cryptocurrency market, before somebody invests their money, surely do a bit of due diligence, especially if you're then going to go and put that money into a company selling the asset you do not understand. So the big question is, did he start out FTX to actually help people as he's claimed in the past, even though he didn't actually know who he was helping out or how because he didn't know what blockchain was? Or did he actually just start the business to make some cash? There's nothing wrong with that, but just say it as it is. Since 2018, SBF has been seen everywhere, spreading his message of kumbaya, and he is going to donate all his wealth. He wants to change the world through effective altruism, a philosophy that is centered on pursuing a lucrative career to have more money to give away at the end. But now Sam Bankman-Fried has a net worth of a staggering $22 billion as the CEO of the world's largest derivative casino. Now surely that's more than enough to have a global impact if you are of course indeed going to give away the majority of it. Now you may sit there and think that I'm being too harsh and that Sam might be in it to make even more for better or for worse, but you have to think, what if it's worse? When he was working at Jane Street Capital, it was reported that he was donating half of his salary to animal welfare organizations. So you could say this could be the norm and Sam would be doing something similar, but it's not the case. The foundation in his company's name only managed to donate less than 1% of its revenues. Its personal donations are no more than 0.1%. This is way below the claims Sam has been made people to believe, which then makes me think even deeper. Sam, what are you up to with all these quotes of effective altruism but you're not really donating anything? Some of the areas he did invest in include voter registration, AI safety, and poverty mitigation. Of course, seeing this guy everywhere, most of his wealth has been spent on getting his image out there and mainstream marketing. Notable campaigns include the renaming of Miami Heat's arena the FTX Arena and the naming rights to the esports league TSM. FTX has also been smashing YouTubers with a semi-script that they push out a agenda, whether it's Andre Zick, Graham Stephan, or any other YouTuber. You see, it's no secret as YouTubers when we have sponsors, including myself, we actually sometimes have a script. What's normal is the certain lines they sort of seemingly have to say, like this one. FTX was founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, who is one of the richest tech entrepreneurs in the world. He is an effective altruist who plans to give away 99% of his money to charity. Now, if you're paying a sponsor to advertise FTX, why are you talking about Sam Bankman-Fried and charity? That's like a celebrity taking a picture with a homeless person who he's just give a Big Mac to. It's sort of saying, look at me, I've done something good. It doesn't make sense. As someone who's promised to give away a majority of his billions to charity, Sam is just confusing what charity actually is. Instead, he's been giving his money to political candidates instead. He announced a pledge of up to $1 billion to influence the 2024 US presidential elections by cutting across the so-called partisan divide, as well as promoting freedom and preserving democracy. And it's probably worth noting here, as I'll discuss later, he was the second biggest donor for the current president of the US. I find it a little weird that this guy who looks like a student with his fluffy hair and seeming minimalist look, I mean, he looks like the guy who's going to be, you know, sat at a beach bar somewhere with flip-flops and can't afford to get a surfboard. It's the whole, like, minimalist look that people are trying to buy into. The other thing is FTX is said to be built by traders for traders, but apart from SBF, who had some prior trading experience, his co-founder and chief technology officer, Gary Wang, was a software engineer at Google before he started FTX with Sam. So don't really get the built by traders for traders reference there too. I mean, that would mean that you made money from trading and then built your own platform. Well, that's how I see that too. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried and his two companies, FTX and Alameda Research, had been bailing out several cryptocurrency brokerages, including BlockFi, Voyager Digital, and now Sam owns a 7.6% stake in Robinhood. He's increasing and buying his finger into many pies, as billionaires do. You can't really criticize him for that. But again, if you can afford to buy into Robinhood, donate the money. Now, I do want to state here before we go further that Sam Bankman-Fried has said when he's talking about donations to political candidates that there is no ties, there's no benefits or conditions to this donation. It's just he's giving money to show his support to somebody he wants to win an election, for example. In 2020, SBF was the second largest donor to the campaign of Joe Biden, where he donated an amount of $5.2 million. Apart from that, Sam has also supported several other politicians like Senators Ben Sasse of Nebraska, Mitt Romney of Utah, Susan Collins of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski, whose name I can't pronounce, of Alaska. There's been many rumors around Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX saying that it's a potential Ponzi scheme too. In fact, he basically called it one himself. Several YouTubers spotted that Sam's basically called this a Ponzi scheme and said that basically Sam sees the whole crypto market as a sort of greater fool's theory and he sees himself as the puppet master letting the fools fight it out.
He literally just described a Ponzi scheme, unironically.
Now, I want to say here, this might sound like a jealous video. It's not. I'm actually saying well done. I mean, anybody creating $20 net worth at such a young age, you have to give them a pat on the back and say well done. But this fame, this money, you have to ask, is it morally right? Because he's clearly paid YouTubers to promote him, saying he's an altruist when in fact there's no real proof of that just yet. A simple search here on YouTube shows videos like the most generous crypto billionaire, among other videos that are made to make him look popular. But in all these videos, you see the other YouTubers parading him around like he's a god, like he's the essence of everything. And I mean, half of these claims have not come into fruition, again, like his donations to charity. Other crypto billionaires like CZ of Binance have made it public they will donate 99% of their wealth. But unlike Sam Bankman-Fried, he's not paying YouTubers to make himself look good. In fact, he is actually donating a lot of money to charity. It really makes me wonder, is SBF the generous man everybody makes him out to be? What is the end game? What is the number when he starts donating his money like he said he's done? As it stands, it looks very much like he's just paying to advertise himself and his company, which is fine, but you cannot spout in the same message you're going to donate the bulk of your wealth to charity unless you donate the bulk of your wealth to charity. So when I see titles such as the young billionaire who doesn't want all of his money, I just scratch my head and think, is this a paid promotion? Is this legit? And being honest, it doesn't feel like it, doesn't look like it, and the research numbers don't back it up either. It seems like a lot of talk and very little echo. I'd love to know your thoughts on it down below in the comments and see if I'm the only one asking these questions, because I'm sure I can't be the only one. If you could drop the code word down in the comments, which is charity, it would greatly help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to learn how to maximize your dividend income through stocks, you can check this video out up here where I go through how I maximize my dividends. Thanks for watching and good luck out there. See you soon.